When I first started hearing these things about the quantum realm, it began to make more sense to me about the Matrix, about Westworld, about the land called Not. Because of photon light energy and the way that it acts, we have infinite probability as possibilities based upon that which one wants to create and walk in Westworld. This is where you become the creator. But most of us don't realize that that's what we are doing because we were programmed to believe a certain thing. How can you get everybody to join in a simulation unless it really is perceived as being real? Like, you can watch SimCity, you can join in SimCity, the computer game, you can create, you can destroy, you can do all stuff. You know that's not real because it doesn't look real, right? It's obviously a computer game. Computer games, they're working on them to make them more real, right? Because the more real it is, the more you want to engage. What are they doing? They're trying to lock you down in a simulation into another simulation so that you have to come up from this simulation into this simulation so you can move into what is real. But we're walking around with like a VR headset on and we're creating as we go, and it is the most amazing simulation freaking ever. It really is. You get to create what you want. Schrodinger's cat was a theory postulated that if you were to put a cat in a box and that there was a radioactive isotope that was in there that was controlling a hammer that would then smash a vial that had poison in it, and the cat was left in there for an hour, would the cat be alive or would it be dead? The answer that they were resolved to, based upon quantum, based upon photon light energy, and we're going to get to the double slit theory in a minute, is the cat is both dead and alive simultaneously until it is perceived by that which is looking. If you believe the cat is alive, you're going to open the box and the cat will be alive. If you believe it's going to be dead, you're going to open the box and the cat will be dead. It has a 50-50 chance of materializing either way based upon the observer. And this is why I don't want to program you guys. Like, I'm sharing with you how I see. Yes, I'm giving you some input. I'm sharing with you what the Aleph is and the Bet and the Gimel and the Dalet so that you can go and play with the letters so that you can rouse yourself awake.
Broaden perspective.
Because it's in your code. The more you spend time with the letters, the more consciously aware you will be of who you really are as Anana. The more the ego will just start dissipating and dissipating and dissipating and dissipating until it's nothing. And then if you choose to go into Westworld, because you're with your family, you're with your mom, your dad, your brother and sister, in order for you to engage with them, you put your avatar suit on as your ego, because they don't get you. They don't get Anana, and they'll try to commit you. All the while, in engaging, going gray man, going as my ego, I'm going to try to plant seeds. I'm still going to go to social activities with them. I'll still play games. I'll still have barbecues. But I know that my whole purpose is I'm Anana. And I'm going to plant seeds. I'm going to plant a little here and I'm planting here. Hey, Dad, you know Building 7 came down on line 11? And no plane and nothing struck it? Glazed over, don't it? He wants to play in Westworld. He wants the illusion. He doesn't want to come out of it. He doesn't want to rouse awake. He doesn't even want to know he's God. Me trying to tell him that he is God, he has got himself so locked down in the program in Westworld, he is dictating to me that that's where he wants to be. He wants to play in Westworld. It's not my job to wake him up. My heart's desire is he was, and that he would, but he's 74. If he hasn't roused awake to who he is, I don't think it's going to happen in this lifetime unless there's some incredible, miraculous things that are so out of this world defiant to that which he believes is Westworld that it will shock him awake. Do I believe there's the potentiality of that? Of course I do. Because when we all come online as Anana, miracles are just an occurrence. Because I love that Rick has said that we know that this isn't real because we defy that which we think is real. Like, if it really was real, we couldn't change it. There's no way it could be changed if it was real. In Westworld, everything is fluid. Everything is fluid. I will say that to you, and part of when I'm sharing this with you, I'm actually talking to myself here. Because there's things that I innately know, but I still am dealing with obstacles in my mind because of my program. So when I'm speaking to you and I'm sharing with you, I'm actually just talking to myself.
No, absolutely.
You guys are choosing to sit in a discussion I'm having with myself. And if it benefits you, great. But I'm talking to myself to get my own blockages out of my mind. I'm sweeping out my avatar of all the freaking programmings that have been shoved into the box, into my subconscious, that keep me from being Anana. That keep me limited in my expression. Because Westworld, I am creating every single freaking day. When I really grasp a hold of this and I strip myself of all limitations, I can speak to that mountain and it will be moved. I will look at that water and say, part. I don't need no staff. I am it. I'm the Lamed, standing alone, that has the power of the Aleph. I am God. I can part the waters. I don't need any gadgets or trinkets. I can say be healed because I already see you as already being healed. Like, you're whole. You're whole. Like, what are you walking around with no leg? That's absurd. Yes, you wanted the experience, but I'm letting you know that this isn't real. The real you is whole. I know these things in my mind, and I'm beginning to feel them in my heart. And once they drop down and they are actualized, nothing in Westworld A can harm me, and nothing can be withheld from me. And I literally will manifest all things I can do. All things. All things. There are no limitations.
But I personally know, I don't know her difficulty but I love the expression because we are all sharing our relativity. Relativity is just your journey of time space. And so it is unique to you as it's unique to me, but I know what my cost of association, I hear carries resolve of extrapolation that is unique to her. And I love it that my wife is associating with her potential and we get to do it together. So we've had to remove ourselves in a sacred sanctum that actually produces the intention of God and earth again, the real, breaking free of the construct of the lesser, which is the imaginary. But our focus is distracted purposely, from, we have to teach ourselves this, but we already know it because it's already there, but yet it's like this oxymoron of a circle and a circle. But, it's becoming more easy. It's becoming our constant in the revelation of what real is, breaking free of that illusionary thing that wants to draw you. So I appreciate her desire and her willingness to translate herself in the transparency that you're able to see her actually translating herself.
Mm-hmm. This is how I did it. This is how I did it. It's one letter at a time, one word at a time. It's an amazing tool. I am not going to be camping on the languages. The only reason why I share it is for another's sake. I don't need it. I've gotten into the place where all I need to do is meditate on Anana. I don't need anything else because I already attained it. I already felt it. I felt the shift and everything was different. And now I know when I slip in between Anana and ego. And so all I'm doing now is I'm sweeping out everything that the ego is still attached to, because God, as Anana, is not attached to anything. And if I want to walk in Westworld and be a major, how do I say this? This is going to sound very arrogant, and I don't mean it to be, but if I want to be a major player in Westworld as a major player, walk in Anana. Walk in Anana. You will be a major player in Westworld. Because the frequency alone shifts all things. It changes the frequency of the room. It changes the frequency and expression of everyone that you come in contact with. You know when they say that there's favor upon God's people? No. Favor is bestowed upon God, who is walking as people. You can't, yes, favor is abundance. You cannot worship God and expect favor will be placed upon you if you are separating yourself from God as outside of you. It's impossible, because you are waiting for something and the field of relativity is saying that you're not something because you're projecting something like I'm lacking it. So you're giving the code in the field of relativity that we are creating in that you are in lack. So what is it going to do? It's going to give you lack. That's what your creation is lack. Because I'm waiting for abundance to come. No, you are abundance. You're God. You can create abundance out of nothing, because nothing is you're creating. Why do you think that we're taught about an apple falling from a tree because gravity is there, when they're doing so many experiments and they don't even have the right concept of gravity? Nassim Haramim is blowing the lid off of physics, and he's proving it, and he's proving that we are the what does he call it? The event horizon. We're the event horizon because we're creating things in Westworld. The double slit experiment proves it, and this is baffled and has baffled them and baffled them and baffled them. And it totally reminds me, Rick, of your conversation with the scientists when you said they keep drilling down and they keep drilling down and they keep drilling down, and we're going from the particles and we're going into the quarks and we're going into, and they keep trying to figure out how all of this is created. And every time they drill down, they find nothing. Every time they do, well, we can't observe it, because if we observe it, then it changes the outcome. Because it's a simulation and it has to have our participation based upon what you believe everything is. And this is why beliefs can be awesome, but they can be detrimental as well. Every single one of us are projecting in the visible light. When there's multiples stacked together, we have interference of my light and your light, and they cross over. The reason why we see what we see is because all of us are in agreement with what we see, hence why we shore it up. The tree in my yard was shored up by somebody who was already viewing that tree. I came into agreement with them because this is how the collective consciousness works. And I'm seeing what they're seeing through their photon light energy because it's crossing over. It's crossing over. Collective consciousness is creating that which we see based upon what we believe in agreements that causes it to be manifest. Why do the buildings exist? Because as we're creating it, everybody's agreeing that it was built. We watch a building being built and we agree with our photon light energy that that creation is going up because we're creating it, and then we shore it up by our belief that it's real. Because we watch, I saw it be built. Of course that exists. And we don't give it another thought because we're in agreement that it was built. So my gym right next door, I don't have to go, is that real? Is that real? I've already made an agreement. I watched it. My agreement was that the building is real. So it's set. And everybody else that lives in this town, it's set. It collapsed the wave function into a particle and made manifest.
Just took just took a long time.
Yeah, it took a long time for us to manifest it.
It was our first practice.
It was our first practice. Took freaking years to make it happen, but you know, whatever.